This kind of knowledge is a knowledge of yourself. What is the aim? To come to know yourself. Whoever knows himself knows his Lord. So the knowledge of the one we reach through this contemplation is a knowledge we get through ourselves. By receiving in a contemplative manner relationship, whether it is in the realm of letters or numbers, we are contemplating symbolic possibilities of ourselves, right? So for those who considers that the essential science of life is contemplation, is just contemplating, this is a most meaningful path for contemplation. For those who think in terms of materialistic and quantitative empirical terms, this makes no sense at all. So don't try to approach a materialist with these things without previous explanations. He will think you are just naive and crazy. Wouldn't he?
Yes.
The experience is not nice. Anyway, I managed to talk about these things in more academic context, just looking at it from a certain distance, and it works. Because it is obviously practical in terms of music, in terms of geometry, in terms of architecture. For example, we cannot understand traditional architecture without this, because traditional architecture was meaningful. A conscious artist would never create something without proportion, without meaning. Oh, I put this here and then this size. What does mean this size? In relation to what? What is the proportion? What is the music of it? Without proportion, you have nothing. What is the disaster of modern architecture in our towns? There is no proportion. And architects are not taught to contemplate. So we get this horror. Sometimes they imitate the tradition. For example, in Iran, we have traditional buildings in Iran of such a beauty, amazing. If you go to the central square of Isfahan, a window in this size will mirror a window in the other side. The whole thing is a unit. If you see a modern imitation of Iranian style, you say, what is this? Do you agree? Do you agree, those who know? You say, what is the problem here? The lack of consciousness of proportion is not anymore knowledgeable, because there is not behind this a symbolic consciousness. So for those who do not know how to approach a traditional church, a temple of any kind, from this perspective, they cannot see the meaning. Temples are talking to us this language of proportions and numbers. Right? In this Turkish book I was using to study Abjad, we have so many literary examples of this. So it's so common within Islam to cipher messages with letters being numbers. And it is so rich. We now have the lexical interreference, all the words of the same root referring to each other. We have the fact that the words with the same grammatical pattern will have also a semantic resonance. We have the fact that being numbers, they can be associated to names with the same number. We have the fact that a name can contain another name and its number, and a single name may have many numbers because it can be counted differently. Or we can get its value and then by this operation of reducing into units get a different value, as you have seen already. For example, a very famous example, Pakistanis would never write, a Muslim will always start writing, or generally start writing by writing Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Pakistani student, to make it easier in his exam, he will just write 786, which is the major system numerical value of the basmala. If you count the value of the letters, it's 786. So, and you will see in a lot of restaurant whatever, and you see 786 means Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, right? It's an abbreviation. Of course, you can reduce these, and if you reduce into units, the basmala is 3, like the alif, which is also interesting. Now we have seen many ways of counting, and I will introduce you to a possible understanding of the contemplative value of these kind of squares. Now, numbers being qualities and establishing relationship, meaningful relationship among them, they will also have a power. They are spiritual entities. As we said of the letters, they were an alive community. numbers are also alive. They are not neutral, they are not dead, they are not sheer abstractions. They are living, meaningful, powerful presences. As in remembrance, a Sufi would say, for example, Ya Hadi, Ya Hadi, he would be repeating a name. The qualities of these letters and the quality of the meaning of this name will hopefully get manifest, will manifest somehow, will have traces in the experience, in the heart of this one who is doing this recollection, right? The same thing happens with numbers. For example, it is believed in all traditional ways that carrying an harmonious square will bring the properties, the presence, the harmony of this relationship of numbers and its meaning will be present with you. As in the same manner as if you carry a prayer. If you carry a prayer or a piece of the Quran or a piece of the Torah or whatever, you are in touch, you are actualizing these and these words are being present with you, right? Somehow. Because as representation, as symbols accompanying you, they are alive within you, they are present in you. So, same thing is with numbers. Now it is often the case that people in Islamic countries will have rings with these kind of squares also. In alchemy, in astronomy, in magic words as the Picatrix or whatever, we will find that for every planet, for example, or for every day of the week being qualitatively different, you will have a particular square, the square of Venus, the square of this and that. Many possible works we could do with the squares. But I will just concentrate now, by the way, the 28 letters within the circle of existence. A possibility of representing the circle of existence into the 28 degrees. Now when analyzing a square, I will mention others. This is a classical one, and it is not a specific. This one is called the Pythagorean square. It contains only the numbers from 1 to 9. Okay, the center is 5. It's a very famous one. Ghazali was mentioning it. I mean, it's everywhere when squares are mentioned. It is a very interesting one because you have 1 to 9 only, not more complex. So it's the 9 instances of life, of the 9 possibilities of existence represented. In any direction, you get 15. In any possible direction, diagonal, this way. Okay, the sum of the numbers. So this distribution gives a proportion, and if you change one column to another place in any direction, it will still give 15 in any direction. So those perfect squares are called diabolic or magic or whatever. I say harmonic. They have a resonance. 15 could be understood as 6, and you would have, for example, possible contemplation. You will have the 5 meaning Ha, meaning the essence, the Huwiya, the supreme identity of God, and you will have outside the 6, 15 being 5 plus 1 of human being, the Wow, last. Ha being the first of the letters, Wow being the last. Huwa, by the way, the Huwa, the name of God as a hidden reality. Many things could be said about this square, but in many books you can find things about it. I will show you a different. So even in China was known. It has been found in China. So it is also a Chinese square, Greek, Chinese. I mean, universal tradition of approaching proportions and correspondences.